Hey guys, Sirak here. Today we'll be doing an overview of one of my Lord of the Ring maps, the Battle for Middle-earth. More specifically, the Mordor overview. In my previous video, you can learn about the major guidelines of the map. In this video, I'll be focusing on Player 1, Mordor. In the beginning, you have your town center that starts in the barren lands of Mordor. To the right here, you have Barad-dûr, the fortress of the Dark Lord Sauron. And here you have Dark Lord himself. Who's trapped unless you bring the relic back to the monastery that is located just here. To the north, you have the Black Gate with both the towers, Narcos and Karhos. And just below the Black Gate, you have Eisenmouth. And to the west, you have Mount Doom here that is featured with the explosions. To the south, you have Cirith Ungol and the long stairway to Shelob's Cave, all the way down to Minas Morgul, which houses the 9 Nazguls currently. Minas Morgul is currently blocked off until about minute 25 in-game. To the north here in the forest, you have the fortress of Dol Guldur, which becomes available at minute 10, with 2 villagers. To the north, you have Kingdom of Angmar, with Monomarth here, who is holding the seat of power of the Witch King, which is open at minute 20, with another 2 villagers giving in that area. And as long as Dol Guldur remains standing after it's been released, you will get free wood every few minutes. So the starting heroes for the player 1, you start with Gothmog, who's the only free hero at the moment. The Cruel, and you also have Monomarth, which we've mentioned before, in Angmar. He doesn't actually become available until Angmar becomes free. Down in the south, in Minas Morgul, you have the 9 Nazguls. Losing all of these heroes are very important, and they give buffs to the good team if they're lost. So losing Gothmog and Monomarth will give Gondor a permanent HP buff for each hero loss. The Witch King of Angmar, if lost, will give bonuses to Gondor and elves. Khamûl will give a buff to the elves. If all of the other 7 Nazguls fall, the elves also get another buff. As you can see, losing the Nazguls, or really any of the Mordor heroes, is detrimental to the team. You'll also notice that any of the Nazguls here, they're all just named Nazgul. They don't actually have names, so it's hard to figure out which of the 9 Nazguls is the Witch King and which one is Khamûl. And the easy way to do that is the Paladin-looking one here will become the Witch King, and the Cav-looking one here will become Khamûl. Now, the Nazguls will become named. They'll receive a considerable buff when the Mordor player has 150 kills. Now, depending on how good the Mordor player is and how the game is turning out, this could either take a while or it could be done rather quickly. Regardless, on 150 kills, the Nazguls become named and more quests become available. So, it's really important to note that the quests for the Nazguls will only work if they are named. So, if you bring Khamûl to the fortress of Dol Guldur, not only does Khamûl get a nice buff, but he also buffs the fortress of Dol Guldur, giving extra hit points to the castle. If the Witch King makes all of his way to Angmar, not only does Angmar become stronger, so does the Witch King and Monomarth. You'll also start the Black Númenórean spawn, which are some of the better units that are spawning for Mordor. When Mordor has 10 raises, they automatically start the spawn of Black Uruks, which is a hero unit that looks like a 2-handed swordman in Minas Morgul. Here. And when Mordor has 200 kills, they start spawning trolls by the cave here in Mordor. And these two are some of Mordor's strongest units with lots of armor and attack and HP. It should be noted that even for the Nazguls, pikes will easily kill them and the elephants for their bonus damage, as it goes right through armor. If Eisenmouth is destroyed, the trolls will no longer spawn. If Minas Morgul here is destroyed, the Black Uruks will no longer spawn and the Nazguls will get considerably weaker. If Karn Dûm is lost, the rocks separating Karn Dûm and Gundabad will also be removed, as well as the Black Numenorian spawn stopping. And this actually leads right into behind of the Goblin base, so you can see that this can be very detrimental to Mordor's war effort. You may have noticed that there are 2 trebuchets in Mordor's base, and they're the only 2 usable trebuchets in the entire scenario. Gondor's has some trebuchets here, but they're actually stuck and they're not able to move no matter what they do. So to use these powerful siege weapon, the castle in Osgiliath, which is here named the Dome of Stars, will have to be destroyed. The quest, however, does not end there, as if you bring Gothmog to the ruins right here, you'll also get the siege unit Gron, which is a very powerful siege ram. And those are the unit quests for Mordor. For the buffs, Mordor has quite a few that they can get their permanent buffs. The first one that is listed in the Objectives tab is Fornos, which is the fortress right here just below Agmar. If you kill this fortress of the Old City, you gain a permanent buff that gives more HP over time to the spawn units as well as your unique units. So any of these buffs are very powerful. It also removes the rocks between Gundabad and Agmar, so these ones will definitely just be removed, which gives an easier access for the goblins to attack Rivendell. Perfect. So the second quest is to kill Lothlorien, which is situated here with their trees. And along with Mirkwood, they stand against Dol Guldur in the fight for Mirkwood. And the Dwarven heroes Dwalin and Thorin, as well as the Elven heroes Galadriel, Glorfindel, and the Gondor hero Faramir, will give a HP buff over time if you can find them and you can kill them. Now, most of these places and heroes are very hard to kill, as most people keep the heroes very safe, and the places that we've Lothlorien and Fornos are very hard to take by yourself, so Mordor is going to have a huge fight. However, the Mordor units are very powerful, so the spawn units especially will become really powerful, so it's definitely worth the investment of time to try and kill those places. Other heroes dying will give a buff to the Nazguls, such as Theoden, Eowyn, Elrond, Aragorn, Frodo, Arwen, and Gandalf. And they may also give all units a buff as well. So if you can find any hero, go ahead and kill them. It's probably good for you or your team. What the Mordor player has to be wary of is that they only need 1 castle for them to be destroyed. So if the castle here at Barad-dûr is destroyed, they lose. One other thing that they will have to worry about is if Frodo is able to make it and get through to Mount Doom, which has been done a few times. It will destroy all of the buildings inside of Mordor and leave Barad-dûr with just a few hit points to be able to be easily taken out. Now, the main strategy with Mordor is to boom very quickly and hit fast and hard. With many of the different locations that you have access to, with Agmar, Dol Guldur, Minas Morgul, and Mordor, you're able to decide which location that you want to strike. And if you ever feel that there's too much resistance in a certain area, it's very beneficial to say, swap your plan of attack and hit something else where you might actually have more progress. And what you can do is you can always switch back and forth between 2 areas, especially if it's the same player defending, as they also only have a certain amount of population that they can defend with. So the Nazguls are actually very strong units, and they can give you quite a few easy kills early on if you can avoid the pikes. And the sooner you have access to the stronger units of Black Uruks and Trolls, the sooner you can really overpower your enemies. And I think that's it for Mordor, and I will see you next time with the overview for the Elves.